Hello and welcome back. Well, as you can see, I'm gridding up the others, and I should have put this at the end of video 3, but I forgot I did these. So here they are, and we're gonna move forward with our painting in just a second. Okay, so now we are ready to add some paint, and we're going to add some titanium white to it, and we're also going to use some of my Amsterdam aqua green, and then we will also work with a raw umber liquid ink. So, and I have some gel set aside, and I'm using a pretty much a dry brush, and all we're going to do is we're going to start highlighting areas like in here and here, around here with the white, muting this pink right here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it, not a lot, and just begin to kind of brush it in places. I like how it picks up the texture of the what you know, the different papers, the different collage papers underneath, which is what we want. And right now I'm just kind of doing it lightly for the most part. And then we'll come back in and we'll add another layer of a darker one. So you'll see. This is the one that's not fully dry. You can see it right in the bird right there. It's kind of interesting that it's not quite dry. You might think that we're taking off all of the layers we put beneath it. Don't think that way. Just think in terms of this is just another layer. Okay, this is just another layer. And we want layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. Okay, now that up there is a little too dark for me. So I am going to take a wet brush now and get it wet. And then I will take a paper towel and just wipe it a little bit. Now I'm going to come back over it all with, you see how it picks it up? That's what we want. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over it with some of my turquoise green, and all I did was add some gesso here, and then I brought in just a little dab of white and mixed it and added some water so that it's a lighter tone, and it'll spread a little bit better. Okay, so where do I want this? And I'm not painting per se, as just highlighting with it in places that I think would look good, and letting it just sort of be there. I'm going to come around my bird and make this area a little more green, some green highlights. There's two birds there, so you can't see one of them because he's not fully dry. And I'm going to add some of that a brown umber. I'm going to put it here where this pink is, and I'm going to put it up there a little bit. And I'll come back in and add some more turquoise, but I want to see the effect of everything first. I'm just going to put a few drops here and there. Oops, I got to get some ink in my stopper. And this corner. Let's puddle this up a little bit. It's okay if it drips down too. We don't mind that. Gonna let it pool right there on the bottom. Okay, let's come back in with more white. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the last piece and we'll work with that. All right, we are back and it's time for our final embellishment. Everything is all dry, and as you can see, the colors we added have become muted. We need to perk things up and work with shadow and light and another splash of color. And the color that we're going to bring in will be from alcohol inks, because they're used to bring in a sense of spot vibrancy. So I'm going to go kind of quiet, and I'm going to just work at a concentrated time. So I'm not going to speed this up though, because I think you want to see what I'm doing, and then we'll talk in just a minute. I will share what I'm doing though, okay? So the first thing that I am going to bring in is I'm going to work with a liquid ink, a liquid acrylic ink. It's a brown, just a brown. And I want to create a flow of energy from this corner up. So I'm just going to spot put it down. It's my darkest color that I'm going to work with. And I am going to just work with my fingers. So here's the thing, when we work with inks like this, we don't want them to completely dry, so we put them on and we dab them. I'm going to also get out a baby wipe. I just used basic baby wipes and because the alcohol content is not incredibly harsh on it, but enough to be able to remove items that you don't want. Okay, that looks dark enough. So now I'm going to bring in some alcohol ink, and this is a butterscotch. It's very warm but cooling at the same time, and it's just going to bring in another sense of color. And you can see how it's spreading because that liquid ink is, the acrylic ink is still too wet. But look at how pretty and vibrant that is, you know. It makes everything pop right out. See how nice it spreads. Okay. I'm just using a baby wipe just to kind of go over them a little and pull up any excess ink. So I'm going to hit it real quick with the heat gun just to, because I want to add some blue color, so I don't want it to bleed in with what I've put down already. All right, next I want to work with some blue, and I'm going to work with the darkest of the blue, and this is called Stream. It's just a really beautiful dark color. Now you see my turquoise green that's in the background, right? So this is kind of complementary to it. You can see some blue from the original color that that I had down. So this is just going to make that pop. And I'm just blending it with the baby wipe. See how pretty that color is? It just really lifts things out. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a lot in because I will come in a little while with some lighter color. Okay. Now what we're going to do, let me just give it a quick, no, I'm okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use some raw umber and a carving tool, and we're going to put some carves and then highlight them with some raw umber. So just be strategic, and it's a sharp tool. You have to use a sharp one. You can't use a bamboo pick. It won't work because this is pretty hard. It's not like Encaustic wax. So you really have to be willing to press in. Now with acrylic paint, you can't leave it here, so don't walk away from this. You do have to wipe it off pretty quick or you're going to get that paint. And the whole idea is you just want to highlight, get the paint down into the grooves, and then wipe off the excess. See how it lifts those grooves right off? And all I'm doing is adding just a little, I'm dipping my finger. I'm just dipping my finger into that, rubbing it in, and then wiping it off. See that? It goes in there really nice. Pops it out. This is kind of doodling with paint. Paint in a scratcher. My chair's getting squeaky again. I'm going to have to oil it. It's because we've had Santa Ana conditions again. So one of the things to keep in mind is when you are wiping, try to wipe away from the center. Don't wipe into the center because you want the lightest part to be in your center. Let's get this corner too, and then we've got a little bit of a balance going. And then I think that'll do it. Nice, okay. There we go. So I hope you can see the marks that we've put, that we've added, you know. Now let's add some of that light blue. And this one is called Aqua. So it's going to blend in a little bit more with our teal, but it's so pretty and so light. Let's see how we're getting multiple shades now of aqua, teals, blues. They all blend together. Okay. That's really pretty. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, we already have done the sides with some of the original paint, the lighter green, and run our brush over it with the raw umber. So all I'm going to do is add some of this to corners and rub it around just to get a little bit of another color on our sides, because remember, the sides are a part of our painting, so we never want to forget the sides. You can do this with any color. You can do it with the dark blue. You can even do it with the butterscotch. It all looks really pretty. But just one of the alcohol inks or the inks is fine. You don't want it to be so crazy that it takes away from the simplicity of it, you know. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this and make sure it's all dry, because now it's journaling time. And what I'm going to bring in are Poshka pens, micro pens, crayons, Stabilo, and we're going to begin to work with even more shadow and light.